When a millionaire nearly runs out of money, he doesn't give up. He doesn't just sit back and watch his empire crumble. For me, that means picking up the tools again. You can take away the wealth, but you can never take away the drive to revive. Hello everybody and welcome back to My Garage Revivals. Right, so it's a brand new day, brand new week actually, and yeah, we've been a little bit busy this morning already over here at the shop. So what I've done is we've removed the rear suspension of the 71 Charger. So we've got all the new parts, replacement parts, basically ready for this thing. So we are going to go ahead and assemble this today and get it installed back onto the car. And then we also have got Scotia's Lada Wagon. So we're going to try and see if we can put this thing together as well. So I think we've got everything we need. We've got basically everything. It's going to probably come together a little bit later on. But first what we're going to do is we're going to quickly take a trip over to Steve's pawn shop. We're just going to go and sell the used parts and stuff that was laying around the suspension shop. And then we're going to get a little bit of money back in our pockets. So let's get our truck fired up here and we're going to make our way over there and just drop everything off quickly. Alright, so here we are, and I just saw Steve is actually inside his little container over there, so we're just going to back the truck up here and we're going to quickly go and have a word with him and just see what he says, how much he's going to give us for all of these parts. Alright, so there we go, so everything has been sold. We didn't get much, but yeah, at least every little bit counts at this moment. So what we have done is we did make a payment to the bank of 50,000 towards our loan. So now our loan is only sitting at 350,000 that we still need to pay off. So it's getting there slowly but surely. Alright, so let's head back to the shop because we need to get cracking on Scotia's Lada Wagon in order to get that thing a little bit sorted for him. Because I think today we're going to also move that over to the body shop and see if we can start tearing into that thing. Alright, so here we go. Let's just do indicate for the traffic so that we at least they know where we're going. Alright, FUNCLE, that's a terrible parking job, but that's okay. Luckily our parkings are quite nice and wide. Okay, so here we are. Alright, we're just gonna hop out. And yeah, there's nothing going on in the body shop at the moment, so we're just gonna carry on with the suspension work today. And then we'll see if this thing is mobile. We're going to hopefully be able to drive it into our workshop. We also have got the engine for the car. Let me actually go and show you guys what's happening with the engine. So we did get an engine secondhand. It's still quite decent. So what we're going to do is we're going to rebuild this engine onto that cylinder, well, onto this engine block. So yeah, everything is going to be transferred over to that engine. So this is in fact a 1.8 liter, but Scotia actually requested a 2 liter, so that's why we are going to be doing a block swap on this motor. So that is one of the things we're also going to try and get done today. It all depends if we have enough time and yeah, how far we get with everything. Alright, so let's return to the suspension shop. We're going to just start with this suspension. I think let's do the back first. It's going to be probably easy enough for us to do this. Let's just maybe get the car lifted up a tiny bit. Alright, I think that is good. Alright, let's start with our differential. Let's just see. Okay, differential is in. Let's get the drive shaft in next. Alright, 3 bolts over there. And we've got 3 bolts over there. You also may have noticed we've got some brand new wheels and tires, because I decided we are just going to go ahead and put some new ones on. There it is. Okay, so let's just get this new shock absorber installed. As I was saying, we are going to just replace both the rear shock absorbers. I think the one still looks fairly decent, but I think it's just better to go ahead and do both. Yeah, so that is the other one. Alright, so let's undo this one. And there we go, so that is good. Alright, let's get the new one, which is this one. Alright, perfect. Shock absorbers have been swapped. We didn't get new front ones because the front one still looks decent, so I'm not going to bother with those. Okay, how bad was this one? Yeah, it was kind of on its last leg, so yeah, because this vehicle is going to be a vehicle that's going to carry a lot of cargo and stuff, we're going to just make sure the rear suspension is as good as it can be. Alright, so there goes the hub. The hub is back in. Now we're going to get this rear arm installed. Just bolt it down over there and over there. And then we've got this lower control arm for the passenger side. Okay, let's just bolt it down. Alright, looks good so far. Alright, so I think now it's time to start maybe tackling the brakes at the back. So we're going to need our screwdriver for the brake discs. So I did go ahead and order brand new brakes, brake calipers, brake discs and everything. So I think the one front disc is still the old one. It's that one over there, so that is still going to be fresh enough for quite a while. Alright, let's pop this on over there. Just zip it down. Alright, perfect. And now we're going to need our wrench for the calipers. But let's maybe just install the brake pads onto these. Right, 4 brake pads. Let's pop 2 in this one. Alright, so there's the brake pads. They're a little bit finicky to get in sometimes, but we've got them in. Okay, brake hoses. I sometimes find these are also a bit hard to mount before the caliper has been mounted, so yeah, but we should manage. Alright, let's bolt those down. Rear left, so this can go on the rear left corner. Alright, let's slap that onto there. We'll bolt up the hose first, and then we'll tighten those 2 bolts back there. And let's do the same on this side. Alright, zip that down, and this as well. So there we go. That is everything on the rear suspension sorted. If I'm not mistaken, it looks like everything. Alright, so let's start with the front suspension once again. Gonna try and see if we can get these bolts from under here. Might be a bit hard. We might have to do them. No, I think we'll manage. Alright, so there's the other one. Okay, perfect. Alright, let's get our tie rods back on. Alright, so there they are. That's the one. Just remember to bolt everything down under here. Alright, let's just check all the bolts. I think they are still good. Everything still seems to be decent under here. Alright, perfect. And that one is tight. Alright, let's go take the other tie rod to the other side. Let's get it onto there. Bolt it down there and there. And everything else is still nice and tight under here. Alright, great stuff. So now we can get our brake discs installed. Alright, let's do this. Alright, perfect. Screwdriver. Why did I put it back in her toolbox? That's the pry tool. There we go. That's the screwdriver. Okay. Let's just zip them down. Perfect. And now we're going to just put our screwdriver in the toolbox because I think we are done with it for now. Alright, so let's get these front brake pads in. Alright, brake pads are in. Let's get the brake hoses mounted. Okay, there we go. Let's just bolt that down. Right, front right. Okay, let's bolt down the hose. Alright, and the 2 bolts on the caliper. Let's just bolt those down. And then we're going to do the driver side one, last but not least. Just get that fitted over there. Alright, so there's the hose. And these 2 bolts over there. So that is front suspension sorted out as well. Alright, so let's start putting these wheels on. So we've got brand new wheels for the car all the way around. So I decided to get some alloy wheels this time around because the Steelies were actually very nice, but I think these are just going to give the car a little bit of a better look. It's going to be a little bit more utilitarian if you ask me. Alright, so let's get this fitted as well. Alright, so that is looking pretty good. I think we did quite well with this little Lada Wagon. So let's get this thing lowered back down. I want to just make sure it's going to sit right. And then we are going to replace the master brake cylinder. Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, the one on the car is a little bit rusty. So we're just going to double check on that anyway. Let's just pop the hood. Yeah, it's not that bad, but we're going to try and maybe just replace it anyway, because I already did order a new one. Let's get this unbolted. Okay, so there it goes. Alright, so how bad was this? Yeah, it wasn't too bad, but it was definitely on its last legs, so it's a good thing we are swapping this out. Okay, let's just lean in here. We're going to tighten up all of these bolts. Alright, so that is good. And now let's pop up this cap. Or pop open the cap. Okay, let's just put the cap over there for now. We're going to take this one off. And I'm going to try and see if we can pour this brake fluid over to the new reservoir. Should be able to do it like this. There we go. Alright, look at us saving brake fluid. Alright, so that is nice and full. Let's just close that one up anyway. Doesn't really matter. Okay, so let's get our cap back on. And then we're going to see if this thing actually wants to fire up. And yeah, I think we're going to be able to push this thing, or drive this thing, hopefully, into the body shop now. Because we've got a couple of things we need to start working on the body. Because there's obviously the rust issue to take care of. And also the conversion that we're going to be doing for him, making this thing into a panel van. Alright, so let's just take it closer for now. We're gonna probably just go around this door over here. Alright, let's hop out quickly, get this door open. Right, and let's just hop in here. Okay, handbrake off. Okay, perfect. So there we go. So this car is now back on its four wheels again. And I think we are ready actually to start cutting this thing into pieces. It's gonna probably require a little bit more work than I think. But yeah, luckily I did manage to track down the panels that we need for this car. So we're gonna be able to get this thing sorted out. But I think before we tackle that, I'm just gonna go over to the suspension shop again. We're gonna do the rear suspension on the 71 Charger, because Scotia actually would like to take delivery of this vehicle quite soon. So we're going to try and figure this out for him, because he's going to be the new owner of the car. And I don't know what he's going to do with it, if he's going to keep it around, or if he's going to maybe just fix it up a bit and sell it on. So that'll all depend, but yeah, I'm also making a little bit of profit on the vehicle, so it's not too bad. I only bought this thing for like 8 grand. Right, so let's get our rear axle bolted down. Okay, and there we go. Let's go around this side. Alright, now we're going to need the 2 rear wheel hubs. Alright, let's see if we can bolt those down. And let's grab the other one. Okay, there we go. Just getting the right position. Okay, let's get the brake discs on. Okay, screwdriver for those brake discs. Let's just zip those 2 screws down. Right, so what I have done off camera is I actually changed the steering column already, because that was quite a bit of a chore. We had to do quite a little bit of stripping to get that thing out. Now, where the heck did I kick the wrench to? Did it go somewhere? Alright, so somehow I managed to kick the wrench to the other side of the room. But it's okay. Luckily, I did find it again. Alright, so let's get our handbrake cable bolted down over here. Alright, so now we are going to grab the differential. We're going to get this into place. Just bolt it down all the way. Nice and tight. There we go. So that's the last bolt. Okay, let's get our drive shaft in. Okay, and just bolt this down. Okay, there are some bolts at the front as well. Okay, and just like that, we've got the drive shaft in. Okay, let's grab our shock absorbers next. Okay, just bolt these down. Perfect. And the last one for that side is just bolt it down. Great stuff. Okay, so I think it's just the brake calipers we need to get mounted. Let's get these hoses on firstly. Okay, just bolt that down, and then we're going to grab the brake pads. Okay, let's pop these in. There we go. Oh, come on. Alright, this is being a little bit tricky now. Come on, get in. Okay, so we've got those in. Let's get this mounted as well. Alright, and the last one. That goes over there. Great stuff. So now we can just get our two rear wheels mounted. And then once we lower this thing back down, I think the suspension on this thing should be perfect. Not really perfect, but at least good enough so that this car can be used again. And it will also be quite reliable because we did quite a little bit of upgrades to the suspension as well. Or not really upgrades, but yeah, it's definitely better than it was. Okay, so now what we're going to do, there are two radiator hoses that I ordered. So we're going to just rip these old ones off. So I decided to just replace both of them because there's no use just keeping the one. And then we obviously have got some coolant to top it off with again. Right, let's just get this lower hose off as well. Okay, so there it is. Okay, let's go and pop this on over there. And that is sorted, guys. So yeah, I think now I'm just going to do a quick top up of the fluids, and then we're going to head back to the body shop and start dismantling Scotia's Lada Wagon. Alright, so the coolant is now full again. And yeah, we didn't really lose that much because we actually swapped those hoses so quickly. Right, let's get these arms out from under the car quickly. I'm going to try and just push it a bit forward so you can actually open the door. Alright, let's jump in here. Okay, and the handbrake is off. It's working, so that's good. Alright, and she fires up without any problems. Great. So yeah, this car is definitely... It still needs a bit of work. But as I said, Scotia actually wants to take it from our hands. Obviously to do something with it. I've got no idea what he wants to do with it yet. But yeah, this thing has got a fairly decent looking interior at least. There's nothing really wrong with any of these door panels that I can see. Even the dashboard still looks very good. It's definitely got that 70s look going on the interior. In the trunk we still have got a bottle of coolant which I can probably take out. Alright, but yes, that is a job done for now. So that car's going to head over to Scotia Place's workshop once he's ready for it. Alright, but now what I'm going to do is we're going to start tackling the Lada Wagon over here. So that's going to probably entail cutting parts off again. So we are going to grab our trusty old plasma cutter here and see how far we can get with cutting the parts off that we need to take off this thing. There's probably a couple of things we need to unbolt, like the trunk hatch. And I think even the roof needs to come off. I'm not sure if the roof actually stays. Yeah, we're going to have to maybe replace the roof as well. If I'm not mistaken, I think the conversion kit that we are getting for this car will require us to even replace the roof. Okay, so there's the old tailgate hatch. So what I'm going to do is we're going to put these parts somewhere separately. Obviously we're going to probably take off the license plate, and that should probably go with the car once we get this thing finished up again. Okay, so let's take off the two rear doors. Let's just put it over there. Okay, and this one Let's just unbolt it over there. Alright, so as I mentioned, we are going to be turning this thing into a panel wagon. So that means we're going to change it into a 3-door. So these 2 front doors are also going to come off, because we're going to replace them with some longer ones, if that makes sense. Okay, so there we go. We've got all the bolts loose on this door. Alright, so we'll see what we're going to need of these old doors. I don't think there's going to be much. Maybe the door mirrors can be transferred and the small windows. Okay, let's just see. Okay, so this door is off. Alright, looks like they actually, or he actually replaced the 1 door on this thing. Still needed a new door card, but yeah, that is basically the idea of this thing. Is going to be turning into a workhorse. Alright, so what I think we're going to do now is we're going to cut off the quarter panels, the roof, as well as the B pillars, because I think those are the parts that needs to come off for the conversion. Alright, so let's cut that. Alright, so here's our 1 B pillar. Alright, let's grab the plasma cutter once again. Okay, let's cut this side as well. Alright, I see that rocker panel is actually quite rusty. We should actually just go ahead and cut that off as well, because we are going to be replacing, or well, repairing the rust actually. So let's go ahead and do that. Might be a little bit easier to get this de-rusted when it's off the car. Alright, let's maybe check the other one if that also needs to come off. No, this side actually looks like it was replaced, so that is still good. Alright, so the roof, can cut this off right over there, and that over there. Alright, so there is the roof. So yeah, this is something we're going to also replace, obviously, with the panel van. So that is pretty good actually. Now, I'm not too sure about the quarter panels, if they are going to be replaced or if we're going to still use these. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to leave the quarter panels on for now, until the parts get here. So this part should be here probably by the end of the week, so we'll see. But alright guys, so that is actually as far as we are going to be stripping this car for now. So the rust that's left on this is basically just the rust on the fender and also the rocker panel, obviously, that we took off. So we're going to be able to sort that out and maybe get this whole thing painted up in primer. We are going to be waiting for the panel wagon parts to come, so I'm not sure how long that would take. But yeah, what we're going to do now is we're going to head over to our engine shop firstly, and we're going to see if we can start dismantling the engine, because we need to get that engine rebuilt for the car and get it hopefully sorted out so that we can get it fitted. So yeah, let's open this door as well for a little bit of fresh air. Now these inline 4 engines are quite easy to work on. There's nothing really extremely hard. Who am I kidding? It's not hard at all. It's just you still gotta know what to do. Alright, so let's start with the parts we don't. No, wait a second. Why am I taking that off? We don't need to take off the water pump actually. Okay, so let's just take off the alternator first of all. Okay, so the alternator we have to transfer over. We're gonna leave everything as is, as far as we can. Okay, so the oil filter will come off. And we're gonna take off the parts attached to the engine block. Okay, distributor with plug wires. We are going to remove the ignition coil here. And let's grab the fuel pump. Okay, so there's the fuel pump. Some of these parts I noticed are still brand new, so that is pretty cool. We are getting some fairly decent parts with a used engine. Okay, so there's the starter, which is also brand new. Okay, so let's do this the easy way. We're gonna take the oil pan off. so there are some bolts at the front and the back. Those were actually loose, I noticed. Yeah, those are loose. Okay, so whoever built this engine forgot to tighten up the oil pan at the front and the back. Okay, well, luckily this engine was never used or ran by the looks of it. Doesn't look like there was any... Yeah, this is actually... It looks like this is a brand new engine. Maybe they didn't know it was actually still brand new. But okay, so there's our crankshaft. Okay, let's do it like this. Let's put the engine block we are going to be installing all the parts on the other side. And we're going to grab our crankshaft. Alright, let's bolt that down. Okay, so crankshaft is back into place, and now we can grab our oil pan. Just be sure to actually bolt down all the bolts this time. Some bolts at the front and these ones at the back. I think a lot of people actually skip these because on the V8 engines and the inline sixes they only have bolts on the sides. On this little engine they've got bolts at the front and the back of the engine as well. So yeah, I think a lot of people don't know about it or they just forget about it. Alright, so we're going to take off the valve cover to get access to the bolts for the cylinder head. Okay, so now if we turn it this way, and I think if we undo all of these bolts, the cylinder head should actually come off with the timing chain and everything. Okay, so there's the cylinder head. Let's just put it down on the table for now because we need to transfer the head gasket. Yeah, I'm quite confident this is actually a brand new engine we actually bought. Okay, so let's get our cylinder head back on. Okay, so this is actually going very quickly. Alright, and let's bolt this valve cover back down. Right, let's move it over a little bit more. Okay, so now we can grab the alternator. And, whoa, that is our phone ringing. Alright, just as we are in the middle of something. Okay, let's just see who this is quickly. Alright, so we just had a quick word with Charles, who's actually the guy with the engine, or well, the guy we got the second-hand engine from. He's got his pickup truck and he needs a little bit of work done to it. So that is in fact the job that I was mentioning in the last episode, or in the previous, well, the episode before the last episode, where he said that he's going to ask us to do some work for him as payment for the engine. So he also offered me 2 more second-hand engines in order to do the work, because apparently there's a little bit of work that we need to get sorted on the truck for him. But for now, I just want to get this engine buttoned up, make sure everything is installed the way that it's supposed to be before we head over there. Okay, so let's get our starter back on here, around about there, and bolt it down over there and over there. And I think that is everything. So this 1.8 liter engine block is now empty, and it's actually good enough for us to reuse this at some point if we need it. Alright, so let's get our wrench put back, and we're going to close up all of the doors over here. We're going to close up the workshop, even the body shop I think are already closed there. So everything is sorted. Suspension shop is closed. Let's just see if that door over there is closed. Yeah, everything is closed, so we can just jump in our ramp truck here. We're going to head over to Charles's house. He did send me the address, so it's a little bit of a drive, but I'm sure we're going to be able to make it there without any problems. We still have enough gas, so I think we should be good to go. Alright, so, and we are off. Alrighty, so here we are over at Charles's house. So what we're going to do is we're going to lower our ramps back down, and we're going to try and drive his pickup truck up onto the ramp truck. So apparently this thing runs and drives quite well. It just doesn't look very good because there's obviously a little bit of damage everywhere on this thing. There's mostly body damage by the looks of it. I don't think there's really mechanical issues with the truck, so we should be able to get this one done fairly easily. There's a worn differential at the back, but that's nothing too serious. Everything else looks fairly good under here. Let's have a look at the engine. Yeah, the engine is actually, that's pretty decent. It looks beautiful. This thing has got an EFI built in, so yeah, this probably makes quite a bit of power. And obviously in the crates over here we've got two engines that are basically built out of used parts. Alright, so let's see if we can get this thing fired up once again. Okay, she starts up quite easily. Alright, so what Charles wants us to do is just get this thing fixed up. This is basically going to be his work truck. So yeah, I'm not sure exactly what type of work he's going to be doing, but yeah, he's also into building up used engines, so I think he probably uses it to haul engines up and down. Let's see. I think we are good. That looks fairly decent. Let's just get the handbrake up, and we'll have a little bit of a peek here. Might be a little bit too far to this side, but that's okay as long as we are on. I don't think it's going to be an issue. Alright, so we're going to just come and close up his garage for him, and yeah, let's maybe just turn off the light too. Okay, so there we go. Alright, let's get our ramps picked up, and then we're going to take this thing back to our shop so that we can actually have a proper look at it. Alrighty, so let's jump in. Gonna fire this old ramp truck up of ours, and let's get back to our shop. Alright, and here we are back at the shop with Charles's pickup truck. And yeah, I must say this truck at the back of our ramp truck was actually quite heavy. I did notice the ramp truck pulling a little bit to the left, so I'm not sure if that is just the way that we loaded the vehicle in the back or if something went wrong with the ramp truck. Everything still looks good here. I'm not sure. We'll definitely just take it for a little bit of a spin around the block just to make sure nothing happened. Because yeah, this is one of the biggest vehicles we've actually carried on this ramp truck of ours, so I'm not too sure if something maybe got damaged, so we'll see. Right, first let's see if we can get this thing off the ramp bed safely, just like that. So that is good. Alright, so this has to go straight into the body shop. We're going to need to inspect this thing properly and see what we've got to work with. We still need to have a look at the engines also that we got as part of the deal. And yeah, the brakes on this thing isn't the greatest, but yeah, it's okay. We'll just maybe check the brakes as well. Okay, so let's hop in here. Okay, and just let it idle in. Alright, I think that's deep enough. Alright, let's just shut it down. Alright, perfect. So here we are. We do have got quite a little bit of work to do at the moment. So I noticed one of the boxes are missing. Now that is a bit of a bummer. I wonder if it fell off next to the road somewhere. Oh boy. Yeah, that'll be just my luck. So I'm gonna have to maybe jump in the F100 and see if we can go and find that quickly. Alright, so this is quite a bit of a bummer. Alright, let's close up the shop once again. Let's just go and see if we can maybe track down this crate wherever it fell off from our truck or from Charles's truck. Alright, so obviously those crates weren't strapped down on the back of the truck, and I didn't think that anything would happen with it. So we're just gonna more or less follow the way that we came. We did come around from here, but that thing could have actually fallen off anyway. Well, I don't see it around here, so it must be all the way back. So let's just maybe drive around a bit and see if we can find it. Hopefully nobody would care enough to try and pick it up, just to see what it's all about. Alright guys, so it looks like we found the crate. So it was just here at the bridge, well, at the end of the bridge. So I think this probably decided to slip off when we went around this corner, because I had to kind of pull away quickly for traffic behind us. Alright, and now we've got a car behind us again. Alright, well, sorry, he's just gonna have to wait for us for a second. Yeah, sorry, just hang on. Just clearing the debris from the road here, man. Alright, let's see if we can get this thing loaded into the truck. Alright, so there we go. Alright, let's get back to the shop, guys. I want to open this engine crate and just see if anything got damaged. Alright. Luckily, it's not too far. Okay, so here we are, back at the shop once again. Luckily, this time, I think we didn't have any problems. So yeah, the engine crate actually fell from the back of Charles's truck as we were going around that corner back there by the bridge. So what I want to just do is maybe open this crate up and see if everything is still good with the engine and if anything happened to it. Alright, let's see. Let's just unbolt it. Alright, and let's come around this side. Just undo these two. Alright. Well, that's a bit of a relief. So it looks like, luckily, there's no damage to the engine. Everything still seems to be fairly good. And yeah, I'm not sure if this engine in the back of the truck is the same engine. Let's maybe just pop this open as well. Alright, let's see. Let's undo these bolts on this crate as well. Come on, this last bolt is a bit finicky, but there we go. Right, so there we go. We've got two second-hand engines that has been rebuilt. So Charles did mention that he forgot to install some fuel pumps on these, but that's okay. I'm not going to be bothered with that. I see this one's got a fuel pump on it, so that is good. But yes, we will just get a fuel pump for this one, and then this one will also be ready to go into a next project vehicle. If we have got a suitable vehicle where this needs to go into. Okay, so let's just bolt that down. And yeah, we're gonna maybe carry these back to the engine shop a little bit off camera later today. So yeah, I've got quite a couple of things done. Not really anything hectic. We still got quite a lot of stuff to do actually now. So I need to inspect the Charles's pickup truck a bit and just see more or less what the extent of the damage is on this thing. It looks like mostly cosmetic damage, some bodywork, maybe a little bit of a beating with a hammer here and there, a little bit of Bondo and a little bit of paint, and then I think this thing should be good to go again. So I noticed this is in fact the long bed pickup truck, so that's why it was a little bit heavy on the back of our ramp truck. So I think that is probably why our ramp truck was pulling a little bit to the left, because this thing is just very heavy. Okay, so yeah, that is basically where I'm going to be leaving this episode, guys. So yeah, I guess I will see you all in the next one.